All right, part 2 for our review. We're doing questions 5 through 8. These are a little bit longer because there are a lot of the show work questions. Let's see what we can do. Question 5 says, use your calculator, awesome, to graph the following. Identify the solution. They gave me my 2 equations, and there's a quick reminder. Remember, this must be in y equals form to graph, obviously. All right, so I can already put in my calculator this first equation, 4x plus 1. I just hit y equals, and I type in 4x plus 1. But then the second one I cannot type in because it's not in y equals form. So I have to move some stuff. Oop, that's not a 3, that's a 2. Move some stuff around to get it into y equals form. So here's my y. So I have to get rid of the 8x, and I have to get rid of the 2. That's my plan. So it's going to take me 2 steps to do that. I have to get rid of the adding and subtracting. I have to get rid of the multiplying with the 2. So I get rid of adding and subtracting first. All of these things happen in my head. And again, because I practice so often with solving for y, I can do this pretty quickly. But again, you heard me go through all the things I think about when I look at an equation like this. I have to get y by itself. I see that there's 2 things on the same side as y. I see multiplying and I see adding. So I have to get rid of the adding or subtracting first, and then get rid of the multiplying and dividing second, following SAD MEP. All these things go in my head at the same time. All right, so let's get rid of this 8x first. I'm going to subtract 8x on both sides. Rewrite. I have 2y equals. I'm going to write this in mx plus b form. So negative 8x in the front and then plus 26, because that is positive, in the back. Divide by 2 to finally get y by itself. This is going to become negative 8 divided by 2 is going to be negative 4. And then a positive 26 divided by 2 is going to get me a positive 13. So there we go. So here are my 2 equations. Here's my y1 and here's my y2. I plug them into my calculator. So your job is to draw a quick sketch. Quick sketch. So take a look at your graph and draw me a quick sketch. And then I want you to see if you can figure out what the answer is. It's a little bit tricky what the answer is. You may have to use your second trace button. Remember, we use button option 5 for intersect. And your calculator will go through the steps with you. Remember, you have to hit enter 3 times. And it should show you the answer at the bottom of your screen. So I'm going to leave this part blank for you to finish up at home, and then we'll go over the answers in class. I'll show you what the graph looks like. I'll show you what the answer is. All right, moving on to question 6. Pause the video if you need to copy any of this down. All right, question 6 says solve the following system of equations using elimination method. Show all work. I could tell this was going to be elimination method just based on the fact that these guys are all in standard form. So x first, then y, and then my constants all by themselves. Remember, when we're talking about elimination, our method is to get rid of a whole variable. And we're going to do that by adding our equations together. Now, we can only add, and they will only cancel out if I have opposite coefficients. Oof, the spelling on that is terrible. Sorry, guys. Opposite coefficients. So right now it looks like I have a negative 3 and a positive 5. Okay, those aren't opposites. And I have a negative 4 and a positive, let's put a 1 in here. Again, not opposites. We're looking for opposite signs and opposite coefficients. But I think I could make this second equation, I could make it into a 4. Right? I could make, if this said positive 4, then I could just cross it out. So my only step I need to do is just make that 1 into a 4. And I'm going to do that by multiplying the whole equation by 4. I'm going to change everything. So then hopefully, let's double check here. My first equation will say negative 3x minus 4y equals negative 52. So I didn't change that one at all. But I did change my second equation. I'm going to multiply this out. 5 times 4 is 20 with an x next to it. 4 times 1 is positive 4y, which is awesome. That's what I wanted to happen. And then 4 times 30 is positive 120. Okay, the numbers got a little big, but that's okay. But my favorite part that happens is exactly what I wanted to happen. I have opposite coefficients, so my y's will cancel out, also known as eliminate. I will eliminate the y's. Now I can just add what's left over here. Negative 3 plus 20 is 17x. And over here on the right side, negative 52 plus 120 makes 68. Going to solve this, by dividing by 17 on both sides. And I get x is 4. Now remember, I'm only halfway done. I have to go back into one of my original equations. Just because, I don't know, the first one has a lot of negatives in it. I'm just going to use the second one. It doesn't look so bad. Plus, the y is kind of by itself. There's a 1 there. So now I'm going to plug in 4 for x. Ugh, my 4s never come out just right. There we go. Alright, so 5 times 4 plus y equals 30. 5 times 4 is 20. Rewrite everything else. Got a minus 20 on both sides. And I get y equals 10, and that's my answer. Remember, I can leave my answer like this, 4 and 10, or I could write it as a point, 4, 10. You have to do one of them, right? You can leave the answers in 2 boxes, or you can leave them in 1 box like that. It's up to you. All right, pause the video if you need to copy this down. We're moving on to questions 7 and 8, and then we're done. Here we go. All right, number 7, solve the following system of equations using substitution method. Man, it's been a while. Remember, substitution method is where I take one equation and plug it into the other equation. We have to make sure one of our variables is solved for. So in this case, I know what y equals. Y equals this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, wherever I see y, I'm going to plug in this whole expression right here. So watch what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start rewriting that first problem. 2x minus 3y. But again, instead of y, I'm going to plug in this whole, actually I like this other color better, this whole expression. So I'm multiplying, right? 3 times y. So instead of y, negative 4x plus 24. Go back and rewrite the rest of it, equals negative 2. All right, substitution method. So I just substituted in. Notice, again, my goal was to get rid of one of those variables. And hey, now my equation only has x's in it. All right, got to do a little bit of work here. So let's see. Start with the 2x, but then I have to distribute this negative 3. Again, I'm going to circle the negative sign. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12x. Negative 3 times positive 24 is going to get me negative 72. Okay, so far so good. I just distributed. Now I'm looking, and here's a problem, right? I have x's. So my solution to that problem is to combine my like terms. 2 plus 12 makes 14. And now I have a 2-step equation. That's not so bad. I'm going to solve it. I want you to show the work in between. 2 steps. 2 steps to get x by itself. You should get x to be 5. I hope you got the work shown. Be sure to show it. Should be 2 steps here. And then now that I have x, got to go back into one of my original problems. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Well, it's very easy to see. If I want to figure out what y is, I'm going to use this second equation because it already says y equals. All I have to do is plug my x in. Now, I could use either one. We've talked about this before. We could use either one. But I'm telling you, I find the second one's going to be the easiest because, look, it's already solved for y. Otherwise, I'd have to plug in x here and then still have to do a bunch of steps to solve. Here, what I'm doing, so plug all that in my calculator, and that's y. Done. Right? There you go. Again, your final answer can be written as a point, so you can do that. And I'm going to leave these last steps for you to finish. So you have 2 steps here to do with the 2 pink arrows, and 1 step over here to do is to figure out what y is. And then you can write your answer as a point. And we're done with question number 7. Nice job. Pause the video if you need to copy any of this down, but be sure you finish the last couple steps on your own. All right, final question on our review sheet is number 8. It just says translate the following into a system of equations. Translate. Identify your variables. That's like your let statements. Notice, do not solve. We don't want you to solve. We've done enough solving with substitution method, with elimination method. This is just about translating, so focus yourself just on the translating. Here we go. Tanisha and Raquel, or Rachel, depends on how you say it, had lunch at the mall. Tanisha ordered 3 slices of pizza and 2 sodas. Raquel ordered 2 slices of pizza and 3 sodas. Tanisha's bill was $6. Raquel's bill was $5.25. What is the price of 1 slice of pizza? What is the price of 1 soda? Well, clearly I know what my variables are going to be. I need to know the cost or the price for pizza. So we'll use a P for that. And then I need a price for a soda, so let's call it S. Alright, anytime I talk about pizza, I'm going to put in the letter P, sodas, the letter S, pizza P, sodas S, and there we go. Alright, reread one more time and I'm going to translate. Tanisha ordered 3 slices of pizza, 2 sodas, oh, and that's it. It talks about Raquel. Raquel ordered 2 slices of pizza and 3 sodas. Oh, back to Tanisha. All right, so hang on. This was Tanisha, right? That was the first one I read, and this is Raquel. All right, so Tanisha's bill was $6. Ahaha, that all. So that's where the 6 goes. And Raquel's bill, that's Raquel, was $5.25. Oh, had to do a little more organizing than I normally had to do, but that's okay. Remember, when we're buying stuff, we add things together. Pizza, soda. Pizza, soda. Alright, and that's it. I'm done. I translated. Translate the following. Check, I did. Identify my variables. Hey, I did that. Do not solve it. I'm not solving it. That's it. All I do. And I'm done. Congratulations, you're at the end of the review for your Unit 8 test. Good luck. I'll see you in class.